Another high-stakes meeting on the war in Ukraine. European and NATO leaders are now set to join President Zelensky for a face-to-face meeting with President Trump at the White House tomorrow. The Trump administration now saying both sides need to make concessions to end the war in Ukraine. All this just days after that historic meeting in Alaska between the U.S. and Russia led to no agreement and produced even more questions than answers. Russia continuing its attacks on Ukraine, launching dozens of drones into the region this weekend. ABC's Ian Pannell has been covering this conflict for nearly 4 years, and he leads us off tonight from Ukraine.
Tonight, in a show of force, European and NATO leaders announcing that they'll be by Ukrainian President Zelensky's side at tomorrow's meeting with President Trump.
Our position is clear. International borders cannot be changed by force. These are decisions to be made by Ukraine and Ukraine alone.
On the heels of the summit between Trump and Putin, where no clear agreement was reached, President Zelensky today doubling down on his demands for a ceasefire.
So it's necessary to cease fire and work quickly on a final deal. We'll talk about it in Washington. Putin does not want to stop the killing, but he must do it.
Despite talking peace, no signs Russia is slowing down its assault on Ukraine. More Russian attacks tonight. And overnight, Ukraine's air defense intercepting a barrage of Russian missiles and drones across eastern Ukraine. Zelensky rejecting Russian demands, he gives up even more land.
The constitution of Ukraine makes it impossible to give up territory or trade land.
Russia occupies 20% of Ukraine's territory. Sources telling ABC News during the summit, Putin demanded Ukraine give up the Donetsk region in exchange for halting offensives elsewhere and further attacks. Today, Zelensky said those discussions can only happen with Ukraine at the table.
So far, Russia gives no sign that trilateral will happen, and if Russia refuses, then new sanctions must follow.
Ahead of tomorrow's meeting, Trump writing on social media, big progress on Russia, stay tuned. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who was in the talks, saying the United States got Russia to agree that if Ukraine is attacked again, the US could defend it.
We were able to win the following concession, that the United States could offer Article 5-like protection, which is one of the real reasons why Ukraine wants to be in NATO.
But Secretary of State Marco Rubio telling ABC News that a peace agreement is still far off.
You can't have a peace agreement unless both sides make concessions. If not, it's just called surrender. And neither side is going to surrender. So both sides are going to have to make concessions.
Rachel, tomorrow's meeting is critical for Ukraine. European leaders rallying to protect Ukraine's Zelensky and have to persuade President Trump to toughen his position on Russia. Rachel?
All right, Ian, thank you.